Maya Johnson has exactly 47 hours to live. She just doesn't know it yet. Right now, she's serving coffee to table 6, smiling at a grandmother celebrating her birthday. In 2 days, she'll be running for her life through the streets of Chicago, hunted by a man who's never failed to find his prey. The Korean Mafia boss who wants her dead isn't sending threats. No warnings, no dramatic confrontations. He's just erasing her, quietly, efficiently, the way he's erased 32 other people who knew too much. Her crime, being in the wrong place at the worst possible time. And hearing 6 words that signed her death warrant. This is the story of the 72 hours that changed everything. Tuesday, 11:47 p.m. Golden Pearl Restaurant, Chicago's Koreatown. Maya had worked the closing shift for 3 years, single mother of a 6-year-old, putting herself through nursing school one brutal shift at a time. The late-night crowd was her bread and butter drunk college kids tipped well, and the quiet suited her. Tonight had been typical, a group of Northwestern students celebrating someone's 21st birthday, an elderly couple who came every Tuesday for the kimchi stew, a businessman who ate alone, always ordered the same thing, never looked up from his laptop. Maya was wiping down table 12 when they walked in. 4 men in expensive suits, the kind that screamed money and danger in equal measure. The owner, Mr. Park, practically sprinted from the back, bowing so low Maya thought he might fall over. "Mr. Kang, what an honor, your usual table." Kang Min-jun, Maya had heard the name whispered by the kitchen staff, owner of half the buildings in Koreatown, rumored connections to everything from illegal gambling to worse things people didn't talk about if they wanted to keep breathing. The kitchen staff had stories. Jin, the line cook, once mentioned that his cousin's restaurant had been torched after refusing to pay protection fees. Another waitress, Sumai, had quit last year after Kang's men came in and made her uncomfortable with their stares and comments. Mr. Park always comped Kang's meals, always gave him the best table, always looked terrified. But he was just another customer to Maya. She brought them water, took their order, stayed invisible, the way you survive in this business. She was refilling their water glasses when it happened. Kang's phone rang. He answered in Korean, rapid-fire and tense. Then he switched to English, the coldest English Maya had ever heard. "The shipment arrives Thursday at 3 a.m. Pier 17. Once the girls are unloaded, eliminate the crew. No witnesses, burn the boat." Maya's hand froze. Water spilled over the edge of the glass. "The girls? Eliminate the crew." Her blood turned to ice. Kang looked up, met her eyes, and in that split second, Maya saw her death. His eyes were like black ice, cold, hard, and completely devoid of warmth. It was the look of a man who'd killed before, who'd kill again, who saw people as obstacles to be removed, not human beings with lives and families. She set down the pitcher with shaking hands, mumbled an apology, walked toward the kitchen with her heart hammering so loud she could barely hear. Behind her, Kang said something in Korean. His men laughed. But it wasn't a friendly laugh. Maya made it to the kitchen, into the bathroom, and vomited pure fear. Human trafficking. She'd just overheard a human trafficking operation, and the elimination of witnesses. And he knew, Kang Min-jun knew she'd heard. Her mind raced. Those girls, were they being brought here against their will? How old were they? Were they someone's daughters, sisters, mothers? And the crew, the people transporting them, were going to be murdered just for doing their job, probably people who had no idea what they were really carrying. She'd read articles about human trafficking, seen documentaries, but hearing it planned in cold, casual English while she refilled water glasses, that was different, that was real. Her manager knocked on the bathroom door. "Maya, table 12 is asking for you." Her body went rigid. "What? They want you specifically. Is something wrong?" Everything was wrong. Maya splashed water on her face, forced herself to breathe. Maybe she was paranoid. Maybe he just wanted extra napkins. Maybe. She walked back out to the floor. Kang sat alone now. His men had left. He gestured to the seat across from him. "Sit." It wasn't a request. Maya's legs somehow carried her forward. She sat, hands clasped in her lap to stop them shaking. Kang smiled. It was the worst smile she'd ever seen, warm on the surface, dead underneath. "You've worked here long." 3 years, sir." "Hard worker, single mother I hear, nursing school too." He sipped his tea, eyes never leaving hers. "Admirable." How did he know that? Maya had never mentioned her personal life to anyone except Mr. Park when she'd asked for schedule flexibility for her classes. Your daughter Zoe, yes, 6 years old, goes to Lincoln Elementary, Mrs. Patterson's first-grade class. Maya's throat closed. He knew her daughter's name, her school, her teacher. He knew where her baby spent 8 hours a day, unprotected. Mr. Kang, He held up one hand, pulled out his wallet, placed $500 bills on the table. For your excellent service tonight, he stood, buttoned his suit jacket, and for your discretion. He leaned down, close enough that she could smell his expensive cologne, something woody and expensive, the kind that probably cost more than Maya's monthly rent. You seem like a smart woman, Maya. Smart women understand that some conversations never happened for everyone's safety. He paused, let that sink in, especially for little girls who walk home from school at 3:15 every afternoon. Sometimes they stop at the park, sometimes they're alone. Maya couldn't breathe. He walked away, left her sitting there with $500 and a threat wrapped in politeness. Maya's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Tuesday, 11:58 p.m., Maya's apartment. Maya drove home in a daze. She lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment in a modest building 3 blocks from Golden Pearl, the kind of place where the heat was unreliable in winter and the air conditioning barely worked in summer, but the rent was manageable on a waitress's salary. She checked on Zoe still sleeping peacefully, her stuffed rabbit tucked under one arm, then collapsed at her kitchen table. $500, a small fortune for someone living paycheck to paycheck, but it might as well have been 30 pieces of silver. Maya thought about those girls, arriving Thursday at 3 a.m., being unloaded like cargo, and then the crew people who would never see Friday being eliminated. She thought about Zoe walking home from school, the park where she sometimes played, how easy it would be for someone to. No, she couldn't think like that. But she also couldn't pretend she hadn't heard what she heard. Wednesday, 6:00 a.m., Maya's apartment. Maya didn't sleep that night. She sat at her kitchen table until dawn, staring at those 5 bills. Blood money, silence money. Thursday at 3 a.m., girls would be trafficked through Pier 17, a crew would be murdered, and she was supposed to forget she knew. But how do you forget something like that? How do you look at your daughter over breakfast and pretend you didn't hear women's lives being traded like cargo? Maya made Zoe her favorite breakfast, chocolate chip pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse. Zoe chatted happily about school, about her friend Emma's birthday party on Saturday, about how she wanted to be a veterinarian when she grew up because she loved animals. Every word was a knife to Maya's heart. What kind of mother would she be if she let those girls suffer to protect herself? What kind of person? But what kind of mother would she be if she got herself killed and left Zoe an orphan? By 6 a.m., Maya had made her decision. She walked Zoe to the bathroom, helped her brush her teeth, picked out her favorite purple shirt with the sparkly unicorn. Normal morning routine, normal mom things. But inside, Maya was already planning. She'd call from a burner phone, use a payphone if she could find one. Did those even exist anymore? Stay anonymous, give the police the information and let them handle it. She could do this, she had to do this. Wednesday, 7:30 a.m., outside Lincoln Elementary. Maya walked Zoe to school like always, held her hand at the crosswalk, kissed her forehead at the gate. Love you, baby girl. Love you too, mommy. Zoe ran off to join her friends, ponytails bouncing. Maya watched her go, memorizing every detail. The way she skipped instead of walked, the sound of her laugh, the trust in her eyes. She couldn't let anything happen to that child. Which meant she had to make sure Kang could never trace the call back to her. Wednesday, 8:15 a.m., near Maya's apartment. Maya went to a convenience store 6 blocks from her apartment, paid cash for a burner phone. The clerk barely looked at her good. She walked another 4 blocks to a different neighborhood, found a quiet alley. Hands shaking, she dialed the police tip line. Chicago Police Department tip line, this call is being recorded. Maya's throat was dry. There's a human trafficking shipment arriving Thursday morning, 3 a.m., Pier 17. Multiple victims, armed men. They're planning to eliminate witnesses and burn evidence. Ma'am, can you provide your name and... Maya hung up, hands shaking so badly she almost dropped the phone. It was done, the right thing, the only thing. She walked another 3 blocks and threw the phone in a dumpster behind a restaurant. Then she went to her 9 a.m. anatomy class and tried to pretend everything was normal. Wednesday, 11:30 a.m., Northwestern University Library. Maya couldn't concentrate on her lecture. The words on cellular respiration blurred together as her mind kept returning to Pier 17, Thursday at 3 a.m., 28 hours from now. Would the police take the tip seriously? Would they investigate? What if they ignored it? What if those girls arrived and... She forced herself to focus, to take notes, to act normal. But between classes, sitting in the library, she felt it. Eyes on her. Maya looked up. A woman sat 3 tables away, supposedly reading a medical journal, but she wasn't turning pages, just watching. Maya gathered her books, moved to a different section. The woman followed 5 minutes later. Paranoia, Maya told herself, just paranoia. But her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Wednesday, 2:45 p.m., coffee shop near campus. Maya needed caffeine. She'd been up for over 30 hours, running on fear and adrenaline. She ordered a large coffee, sat by the window. That's when she saw the car. Black sedan, tinted windows, parked across the street with the engine running. Someone was inside, watching the coffee shop. Watching her. Maya's blood ran cold. She left her coffee on the table and slipped out the back exit, through the kitchen. The staff shouted at her, but she didn't stop, didn't look back. She caught a bus going the opposite direction, sat in the back, watched out the rear window. The black sedan didn't follow. But Maya knew the truth. They were watching her, Kang's people, making sure she stayed silent. Or maybe making sure they knew where to find her when the time came. Wednesday, 4:30 p.m., grocery store. Maya needed to pick up dinner, needed to maintain normalcy for Zoe's sake. She went to the grocery store near their apartment, grabbed a cart, tried to focus on her shopping list. Pasta, sauce, bread, milk. Aisle 3, a man in jeans and a Cubs hat, pretending to compare cereal brands, but his eyes kept flicking to Maya. Aisle 5, the same man, still pretending to shop. Aisle 7, there he was again. Maya abandoned her cart and left. Wednesday, 6:45 p.m., Maya's apartment. Maya picked up Zoe from after-school care, with a smile plastered on her face. How was school, baby? Good, we learned about butterflies, and I got a gold star on my spelling test. That's amazing, sweetie. But Maya's mind was racing. They were following her. Multiple people, coordinated surveillance. Kang wasn't waiting to see if she'd talk. He was already hunting her. She made Zoe mac and cheese for dinner, the kind from the blue box that Zoe loved, and tried not to let her daughter see her hands shaking. After dinner, Maya triple-checked the locks on their apartment door, checked the windows, drew the curtains. Mommy, why are you being weird? I'm not weird, baby, just making sure we're safe. Safe from what? Nothing, just being careful. Zoe looked at her with those big, trusting eyes. Okay, Mommy. Wednesday, 8:30 p.m., Zoe's bedtime. Maya read Zoe 3 bedtime stories instead of the usual one, tucked her in extra tight, kissed her forehead multiple times. Mommy, you're being extra kissy tonight. Is that a bad thing? No, I like it, Zoe yawned. Love you, Mommy. Love you more than the whole world, baby girl. Maya sat next to Zoe's bed until she fell asleep, one hand holding her daughter's small fingers. What had she done? She'd tried to do the right thing, and now she put both of them in danger. But what was the alternative? Let those girls be trafficked, let people be murdered. There had to be a way out of this, had to be. Wednesday, 9:34 p.m., the phone call. Maya was in the kitchen, staring at the $500 still sitting on her counter, when her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Silence, then breathing, then Kang's voice, soft as death. You made a mistake, Maya. Her blood froze. The police received an interesting tip yesterday, about Pier 17. He paused. The call came from a burner phone purchased at a convenience store 2 blocks from your apartment. The Clark's security footage shows a black woman, late 20s, wearing a Northwestern hoodie. We had the video enhanced. Facial recognition confirmed it was you. Oh God, they'd traced it. Somehow they'd traced it. Mr. Kang, please. I gave you a chance. I paid you to be smart. His voice hardened. Instead, you chose to be a hero. I have a daughter. I know, I've been watching her all day. Lovely child, so trusting. She smiled at my associate when he asked her about her favorite color. Pink, she said. She also mentioned she loves the swings at Parkview Elementary. Goes there every Wednesday after school. Maya's entire body went cold. They'd gotten close to Zoe, talked to her, while she was at school, unprotected. Please, Maya whispered. She's just a baby, she doesn't know anything. Then you shouldn't have made her an orphan. His voice was casual, like he was discussing the weather. Here's what's going to happen, Maya. In the next 24 hours, you're going to disappear. Maybe a mugging gone wrong. Maybe you'll fall down the stairs in your apartment building. Maybe you'll have a tragic car accident. The details don't matter. What matters is that by Friday morning, you won't be a problem anymore. You can't. I can, I have 32 times before you. You'll be 33. He paused. And if you run, if you go to the police, if you do anything except wait quietly for the inevitable, then your daughter becomes 34. Do you understand? Maya couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I asked if you understand. Yes, she whispered. Good, enjoy your last day with Zoe, make it count. The line went dead. Maya stood frozen in her kitchen, phone still pressed to her ear, while the world collapsed around her. Wednesday, 9:47 p.m., the escape. Maya's paralysis lasted exactly 8 seconds. Then she moved. She grabbed Zoe from her bed, still half asleep in her pajamas, threw clothes in a duffel bag with shaking hands, underwear, shirts, pants, toothbrushes, Zoe's stuffed rabbit. Her daughter's confused questions, Mommy, where are we going? It's nighttime, were knives to her heart. We're going on an adventure, baby, a surprise trip. But I have school tomorrow. Not tomorrow, we're going to visit Aunt Keisha. Remember Aunt Keisha? I like Aunt Keisha. Maya grabbed her emergency cash, $200 hidden in a coffee can, and the $500 Kang had given her. She'd burn in hell before she left it behind. They had to run, now, before Kang's people came. She carried Zoe down the back stairs of their apartment building, into the alley, toward her car. And stopped. All 4 tires were slashed, deep cuts, deliberate, and spray-painted on the hood in bright red. Run. This wasn't an accident, this was a message. He wanted her to run, he wanted the hunt. Zoe saw the car and gasped, Mommy, what happened? It's okay, baby, we'll walk. Walk where? Somewhere safe. Maya grabbed her daughter's hand and ran. Wednesday, 10:15 p.m., the alleys of Koreatown. Maya carried Zoe through the back alleys of Koreatown, staying off main streets, using every shortcut she'd learned in 3 years of walking to work. Zoe was getting heavy, but Maya didn't dare put her down, didn't dare slow down. Behind them she heard footsteps, male voices speaking Korean. They were being followed. Maya ducked into a side alley, pressed herself and Zoe against a dumpster, clapped a hand over her daughter's mouth to keep her quiet. Mommy, I'm scared. SHH baby, we're playing hide and seek, stay very, very quiet. 2 men walked past the alley entrance, scanning, searching. Maya held her breath. They kept walking. Maya waited 2 full minutes, then ran in the opposite direction. Wednesday, 10:52 p.m., Keisha's apartment. Maya made it to Keisha's building, a better neighborhood, better security. She buzzed the intercom frantically. Yeah, Keisha's voice, groggy with sleep. It's Maya, please, let us in. The door buzzed immediately. Keisha met them on the 3rd floor. Took one look at Maya's face, wild-eyed, carrying a sleeping Zoe duffel bag over her shoulder, and stepped aside without questions. Get in here. Once inside with the door locked and chained, Maya finally let herself collapse on Keisha's couch. Keisha brought her water, sat across from her. What happened? Maya told her everything, the overheard conversation, the tip to police, the surveillance, the phone call, the slashed tires. Keisha's face went from concerned to horrified. Maya, this is serious. This is Mafia. You need to go to the police. He said if I go to the police, he'll kill Zoe. Then you need to leave Chicago, tonight, get as far away as possible. He'll find us, he has money, resources, connections. How do you hide from someone who owns half the city? Keisha was quiet for a long moment. What are you going to do? I don't know. Maya looked at Zoe, sleeping on Keisha's spare bed. I don't know. Wednesday, 11:30 p.m., research. While Zoe slept, Maya used Keisha's laptop to research Kang Min-jun. What she found made her blood run cold. He wasn't just connected to the Korean Mafia, he was the Korean Mafia in Chicago, head of an organization that controlled everything from legitimate businesses to illegal gambling, drug trafficking, and worse. 32 unsolved disappearances in the last 5 years, all people who'd crossed him, bodies never found, cases gone cold, witnesses who recanted their statements or disappeared themselves. Protected by politicians he'd bought, police he'd corrupted, a network of informants that made anonymity impossible. The FBI had been investigating him for 3 years with no success. He was too careful, too insulated. No one would testify, no one would talk. And Maya had just put herself in his crosshairs. She found photos from his younger days. Kang as a teenager, already ruthless, already connected. Kang in his 20s, building his empire. Kang now untouchable. There was an article about a prosecutor who tried to build a case against him in 2019. The prosecutor's car had exploded in his driveway. Case closed. A journalist who'd written exposés about Kang's businesses, found dead in her apartment, ruled a suicide despite evidence of forced entry. A rival gang member who'd challenged Kang's territory. His body was found in the Chicago River, tortured beyond recognition. This was who was hunting Maya. This was who wanted her dead. Thursday, 1:47 a.m., the black SUV. Maya couldn't sleep. She stood at Keisha's window, watching the street below when she saw it. A black SUV, parked across the street 2 buildings down, engine off, but someone was inside, waiting. They'd found her, already. Of course they had. Keisha was her best friend, her only close friend in Chicago. It would have been the first place they checked. Maya felt something shift inside her, a coldness, an anger. She'd spent her whole life being careful, following rules, staying invisible, working hard, keeping her head down, trying to build a better life for Zoe. And for what? So a monster could threaten her daughter, decide whether she lived or died. No. If Kang wanted to hunt her, fine, but she wasn't going to be prey. She was going to be something he'd never dealt with before. A witness who fought back. Thursday, 2:03 a.m., the phone call to Sandra Chen. Maya pulled out her phone, made a call to the one person who might help, Officer Sandra Chen, the cop who'd taken her sexual assault report 2 years ago when Maya's ex-boyfriend had gotten violent. Sandra had been different from the other cops. She'd actually listened, actually cared, actually followed up to make sure Maya was safe. Maya had kept her number, just in case. The phone rang 4 times, then a groggy voice, "This is Chen." "Sandra, it's Maya Johnson. I'm sorry to call so late, but I need help, and I have information that could bring down Kang Min-jun." There was a long pause, then Sandra's voice, now fully awake, "Maya, what are you talking about?" Maya told her everything. Sandra listened without interrupting. When Maya finished, Sandra was quiet for a long moment. "Maya, if you're serious about this, you can't go halfway. He'll kill you. He's killed for less. He's already trying. I'd rather die fighting than hiding." Another pause, then, "I know someone, FBI, Special Agent Robert Morrison. They've been trying to build a case against Kang for 3 years, but they need someone willing to wear a wire, someone he doesn't know is cooperating, someone brave enough or desperate enough to get close to him." Maya's heart pounded. What would I have to do? Get close to him, make him think you want to negotiate, record him admitting to something concrete, anything the FBI can use for a warrant. Sandra's voice was grave. "It's incredibly dangerous, Maya, if he finds the wire." "I'll do it." "Maya, think about this." "I have thought about it. I can't run forever. I can't live looking over my shoulder, wondering when he'll come for Zoe. This is the only way." Sandra sighed. "I'll call Morrison, but Maya, promise me you'll be careful." "I promise." "And Maya, for what it's worth, You're the bravest person I've ever met, or the craziest. Maybe both. Thursday, 6:30 a.m., meeting with the FBI. Sandra arranged everything. At 6:30 a.m., Maya met Special Agent Robert Morrison and his partner, Agent Kim, at a safe house on the south side. Morrison was in his 40s, graying at the temples, with the weary eyes of someone who'd seen too much. Agent Kim was younger, sharp, intense. "Ms. Johnson," Morrison said, "Officer Chen explained your situation. Before we go any further, I need you to understand what you're agreeing to. Kang Min-jun is one of the most dangerous men in Chicago. If he discovers you're working with us, he'll kill me, I know. He's going to kill me anyway if I don't do something." Morrison nodded. "Fair point. Okay, here's the plan. We fit you with a wire. You approach Kang, tell him you want to make a deal. You get him talking. We need him to admit to something specific. The trafficking operation, the planned murders, anything we can use for a warrant. And you'll be listening. Every word. We'll have agents positioned nearby. If things go south, we move in immediately." Agent Kim stepped forward with a small device. "This is the wire. It's state-of-the-art, nearly invisible. We'll attach it here," she gestured to Maya's torso, "under your clothing. Even if he pats you down, he probably won't find it. Probably. Nothing's certain in this business, Ms. Johnson." For the next 4 hours they coached Maya, how to deflect questions, how to get Kang talking, how to stay calm. "Remember," Morrison said, "you're scared but trying to negotiate. You're a mother protecting her child. Play into that. Men like Kang, they think they can read people. Let him think he's in control. What if he doesn't believe me? Then you get out of there, fast." Thursday, 10:23 a.m., walking into the Lion's Den. Maya walked into Kang's nightclub like she was walking to her own execution. Maybe she was. The club was closed. It didn't open until evening, but the door was unlocked. A bouncer checked her name against a list, then waved her through. Inside, the club was dimly lit, smelling of stale alcohol and expensive cologne. Bass music thumped softly from speakers. A few men in suits stood around, watching her. One of them, the head of security, the man who'd been following her, gestured to a staircase. "Boss is upstairs, third door on the right." Maya climbed the stairs on legs that barely worked. Each step felt like walking deeper into a trap. "Third door on the right." She knocked. "Come in." Maya pushed open the door. Kang sat behind a massive desk in a luxurious office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Chicago, expensive art on the walls, everything screamed money and power. He didn't look surprised, like he'd been expecting her. "Maya, I wondered when you'd show up." She stepped inside, heart hammering. The wire felt like it was burning against her skin. "I want to make a deal." He smiled, leaned back in his leather chair. "What could you possibly offer me?" "My silence, real silence, not fear, not money, a real agreement." She forced herself to look him in the eyes. "I know I can't hide from you, I know I can't run, but I also know that killing me brings heat you don't need. The police know I called in that tip. If I disappear now, they'll investigate, they'll connect it to you." Kang studied her. "Go on. Let me and my daughter live. I'll sign anything you want, swear on anything you want. I'll never speak about what I heard. You'll never have to think about me again. I'll take Zoe and move to another city. You'll never see me again." "And why should I trust you?" "Because I have everything to lose. My daughter, my life, my future." Her voice cracked, and it wasn't entirely acting. "Please, I'm not trying to be a hero. I just want to survive. I want my daughter to grow up with a mother." Kang stood, walked around the desk, circled her slowly, like a predator circling prey. "You're braver than I thought, or more foolish." He stopped in front of her. "Most people who cross me don't have the courage to face me. They run, they hide, they beg from a distance. Is it courage or desperation?" He laughed, actually laughed, perhaps both. He tilted his head. "You know what I admire, Maya? Honesty. You could have tried to lie, to pretend you didn't hear anything. But you're here, honest about what you did, honest about what you want." For a moment, Maya thought it might actually work. Then his hand shot out, grabbed her arm, started patting her down. Maya's blood turned to ice. The wire, he was checking for a wire. His hand moved up her side, professional and thorough, moving toward where the device was hidden. The door burst open. His lieutenant rushed in, speaking rapid Korean, something urgent, something that needed immediate attention. Kang's grip loosened. He barked orders at the lieutenant, then looked back at Maya. "Wait here, don't move, don't touch anything." He left, the door locked behind him with an audible click. Maya stood there shaking, knowing the FBI was listening, knowing her cover was seconds from being blown. Then she saw it. His computer, still unlocked, still open. The screen showed files, folders labeled Pier 17, shipments, routes, contacts, spreadsheets with names, dates, locations. Everything the FBI needed, right there. She had maybe 60 seconds before he came back. Maybe less. Thursday, 10:34 a.m., the evidence. Maya pulled out her phone with shaking hands, started photographing the screen. Click the Pier 17 folder. Click the shipment schedules. Click a list of names, crew members marked for elimination. Click financial records showing payments to dock workers, police officers, city officials. Click communications with traffickers in Korea, Thailand, Vietnam. Every photo was evidence. Every photo was another nail in Kang's coffin. Footsteps in the hallway. Maya's hands shook so badly she almost dropped her phone. She sent all the photos to the FBI contact number Morrison had given her, then shoved her phone back in her pocket. Stepped away from the desk. The door opened. But it wasn't Kang. It was his head of security, the man who'd been following her for 2 days, 6'4", built like a tank with eyes like a shark. "Boss wants you downstairs, now." This was it, he knew. They were going to kill her in the basement and make her disappear. Maya's mind raced. "I need to use the restroom first." "Downstairs." "Please, it's a woman thing." She made herself look embarrassed. "I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent." He grimaced. Men never wanted details about women's biology, and gestured down the hall. 2 minutes, bathrooms that way. You try anything, you won't make it to the stairs. Maya walked to the bathroom on legs that barely worked. Behind her, she heard him radioing to someone. "Subject is in the second-floor bathroom. Keep eyes on all exits." She was trapped. Thursday, 10:37 a.m., the jump. Maya locked the bathroom door, looked around frantically. No other exits, just a window. She ran to it, pushed it open, looked down. 3-story drop to the alley below, concrete and dumpsters. She could hear pounding on the bathroom door. "Time's up, open the door." No choice. Maya climbed onto the window ledge. Her hands were sweating, shaking. Her heart was hammering so hard she thought it might explode. 3 stories, she could die. She could break her back, her neck, her skull. But if she stayed, she'd definitely die. The pounding got louder. "Open this door now." Maya said a prayer. "God, if you're there, please let me live for Zoe," and jumped. Thursday, 10:38 a.m., the chase. Time slowed. Maya fell through empty air, wind rushing past, ground racing up to meet her. She hit hard, wrong, felt her left ankle explode with pain so intense she screamed. But adrenaline overrode everything. She rolled, pushed herself up, started running limping down the alley. Behind her she heard shouts. Men pouring out of the building. "There's in the alley." Maya ran like she'd never run in her life. Every step on her left foot was agony, but she didn't stop, couldn't stop. She burst out of the alley onto a main street, civilians everywhere, lunchtime crowd. And then, bang, a gunshot. People screamed, scattered. Bangs, bang. Actual gunshots, in broad daylight in downtown Chicago. Maya dove behind a parked car, looked back. 3 of Kang's men were chasing her, one with a gun drawn. This was it, this was how she died. Then sirens. Everywhere. FBI vans screeching around corners, black SUVs with lights flashing, agents with weapons drawn, pouring out. "FBI, drop your weapons. Get on the ground." The gunman fired at the agents. Bad move. 10 agents returned fire. The gunman went down. More agents swarmed Kang's nightclub. A coordinated raid. Dozens of federal agents with a warrant storming the building. An agent ran to Maya Johnson. "Yes." "FBI, stay down, keep your head covered." Maya dropped to the pavement, covered her head with her arms, and watched as federal agents swarmed the building she'd just escaped from. It was over. She'd done it. Thursday, 12:15 p.m., Chicago Memorial Hospital. Maya sat in the emergency room with her ankle in a temporary splint, waiting for x-rays. Special Agent Morrison sat beside her, looking impressed despite himself. That was either the bravest or the stupidest thing I've ever seen someone do, Ms. Johnson. I vote for desperate. The photos you sent gave us probable cause for the warrant, combined with your wire recording, which got him admitting to dealing with problems permanently and handling situations that need to disappear. We had enough to move. We raided Pier 17 at 3 a.m., found 12 women locked in a shipping container, ages 16 to 23, all alive. Maya closed her eyes, relief washed over her like a wave. They're alive. Because of you, those women are alive because you refused to stay silent. What about Kang? In federal custody, along with 14 members of his organization, including his head of security, his lieutenant, 3 corrupt police officers, and 2 city officials on his payroll. Morrison leaned forward. We've been after this guy for 3 years, Ms. Johnson. You gave us more evidence in one day than we'd collected in 3 years. Will he come after me, after this? Morrison's expression was grave. He's facing multiple life sentences. Human trafficking, conspiracy to commit murder, racketeering, corruption, murder for hire. Even if he had the resources to come after you, which he won't because we're seizing all his assets, he'll be in federal prison for the rest of his natural life. Possibly death penalty, given the severity of the charges. Maya let out a breath she'd been holding for what felt like days. What about Zoe? Is she safe? We have officers with her and your friend Keisha right now. She's safe. You're both safe. Safe, the word felt foreign. Thursday, 3:00 p.m., reunion. They brought Zoe to the hospital. She ran to Maya's bed and threw her arms around her mother. Mommy, you're hurt. Just my ankle, baby, I'm okay. The police said you were a hero. Are you a hero, Mommy? Maya held her daughter tight. No, baby, I'm just a mom who did what she had to do. Keisha stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her face. Girl, you are insane, but I love you. Maya laughed, actually laughed. Love you too, Keisha. Thursday through Sunday, media frenzy. The story broke on Thursday evening. By Friday morning, it was national news. Chicago Waitress brings down Mafia empire. Single mother's courage, saves 12 women from trafficking. FBI credits civilian tip, 4 largest human trafficking bust in Chicago history. Maya's photo was everywhere. Her story was everywhere. Reporters camped outside the hospital, outside Keisha's apartment, outside Golden Pearl restaurant. Maya refused all interviews. She wasn't ready to talk about it. Maybe she'd never be ready. But the FBI needed her testimony, and Maya was ready to give it. 6 months later, the trial. The trial of Kang Min-jun and his associates made national news for weeks. Maya testified on a Tuesday in February. She wore a simple black dress and held her head high as she walked to the witness stand. The courtroom was packed, reporters, families of victims, curious onlookers. And Kang, sitting at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit, looking older than Maya remembered, smaller, defeated. The prosecutor walked her through her testimony, the overheard conversation, the threats, the surveillance, the phone call, everything. Maya recounted it all calmly, clearly, looking Kang in the eyes as she spoke. He stared back, but there was no power in his gaze now. Just an old man facing the consequences of his choices. When the defense attorney cross-examined her, tried to make her seem unreliable, emotional, mistaken, Maya didn't waver. Ms. Johnson, isn't it possible you misheard the conversation? No. You were working, tired, perhaps you confused. I heard him say eliminate the crew and burn the boat. I heard him threaten my daughter. I didn't mishear anything. You accepted $500 from my client. Blood money, which I used to help bring him to justice. The prosecutor almost smiled. The trial lasted 4 weeks. The evidence was overwhelming. The photos Maya had taken, the wire recordings, testimony from the 12 rescued women, testimony from former associates who turned state's evidence, financial records, communications, everything. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. When they came back, the verdict was unanimous. Guilty on all counts. Human trafficking, conspiracy to commit murder, racketeering, corruption, money laundering, murder for hire. Kang showed no emotion as the verdicts were read, just sat there, stone-faced. The judge set sentencing for 2 weeks later. When Maya left the courthouse that day, holding Zoe's hand, reporters swarmed them. "Ms. Johnson, you're being called a hero." Maya stopped, looked at the cameras. "I'm not a hero," she said clearly. "I'm a waitress who heard something horrible and couldn't stay silent. Any decent person would have done the same." But as she walked away, she knew that wasn't quite true. Because most people wouldn't have risked everything. Most people would have taken the money and the warning and looked the other way. Most people would have survived by staying silent. But Maya had survived by speaking up. And that made all the difference. Sentencing day. The judge sentenced Kang Min-jun to 15 consecutive life sentences without possibility of parole, plus 200 years. He'd die in prison, no question. His empire crumbled within weeks, properties seized, businesses shuttered, associates scattered or imprisoned. The corrupt police officers were fired and prosecuted. The city officials resigned in disgrace. The 12 rescued women were returned to their families. 3 of them were from Thailand, 4 from Vietnam, 5 from the Philippines, all minors, all trafficked under false promises of jobs in America. At the sentencing hearing, 2 of the women gave victim impact statements. They thanked Maya by name, tears streaming down their faces. Maya cried too. 1 year later, Maya graduated nursing school at the top of her class. She stood on the stage in her cap and gown, diploma in hand, while Zoe cheered from the audience. It had been a long, brutal year, therapy for both of them, nightmares, anxiety, the weight of what they'd been through. But they'd survived. More than survived, thrived. Zoe was 8 now, doing well in school, still in therapy but smiling more every day. And Maya, she had job offers from 3 hospitals, a future that looked brighter than she'd ever imagined. After the ceremony, Keisha threw a party, small, intimate, just close friends. Agent Morrison showed up with flowers. "Congratulations, Nurse Johnson." Maya hugged him. "Thank you for everything. You did the hard part, we just backed you up." Sandra Chen came too, brought a card signed by everyone at her precinct. "We're all proud of you, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. You could have, you would have, but I'm glad you didn't have to." Present day, 2 years after that night. Maya still works at Golden Pearl Restaurant, part-time now, between nursing shifts at Chicago Memorial. She could have quit, could have moved away, started fresh somewhere new. But Golden Pearl is home. Mr. Park is like family. The kitchen staff treats Zoe like their niece. And besides, Maya isn't running anymore. When she serves tables now, people recognize her. The woman who brought down a Mafia boss with nothing but courage and a tip line. Sometimes customers ask for selfies. Sometimes they leave huge tips. Sometimes they just say, "Thank you." Maya is gracious but doesn't linger on the attention. She's not doing this for recognition. She's doing it because it's her job, her life, her choice. The final night, a new beginning. On a quiet Tuesday night, 2 years and 3 months after that fateful shift, Maya is closing up Golden Pearl. The restaurant is empty, just her and Mr. Park, who's doing the books in the back. Maya wipes down table 12, the table where it all started, and pauses. So much has changed since that night, so much pain, fear, courage, growth. The door chimes, a customer. Maya turns, ready to say they're closed. It's a young woman, early 20s, Asian, nervous. "I'm sorry, Maya stops, recognizes her. One of the 12, one of the women rescued from that shipping container. "Ms. Johnson," the woman says in accented English, "I'm Park Jae-woo, you saved my life." Maya's throat tightens. "I remember you from the trial. I wanted to thank you in person. I'm in school now, learning English. I'm going to be a teacher." Tears stream down her face. "Because of you, I get to have a future." Maya walks around the counter, takes the young woman's hands. "I'm so glad you're okay." I think about you every day, what you did, how brave you were. I was terrified, Maya admits. I almost didn't do anything. But you did, when it mattered, you spoke up. They talk for 20 minutes. Jaiwoo tells her about her life now, her dreams, her gratitude. When she leaves, Maya stands in the empty restaurant, crying. Mr. Park emerges from the back, sees her tears. You okay, Maya? Yeah, she wipes her eyes. I'm okay. Better than okay. Because she'd made a choice that night 2 years ago. A choice between silence and courage, between safety and justice. And that choice had saved 12 lives. Including her own. Epilogue. Kang Min-jun died in federal prison 3 years into his sentence. Heart attack, no foul play suspected. His organization never recovered. The power vacuum was filled by smaller, less violent groups. The 12 women he'd planned to traffic are all alive, living in various countries, rebuilding their lives. 3 became teachers, 2 became social workers, 1 became a nurse, inspired by Maya. And Maya, she's still a waitress at Golden Pearl restaurant, still puts herself through nursing shifts, still a single mother doing her best. But now, when she serves tables, she does it with her head high, because she knows what she's capable of. She's the black waitress who overheard the darkest plan and refused to let it happen in silence. She's the single mother who chose courage over safety. She's the woman who proved that one voice, one witness, one moment of bravery can change everything. Some hunts don't end with the prey being caught. Some hunts end with the hunter behind bars. And some witnesses become warriors. Maya Johnson is proof of that.
Thank you for watching. Every story leaves something behind. Fragmented Rain is where the next one begins. New stories every week. Please subscribe for more.